pretty sweet. But let's bring up Cameron Foster with Old Republic Home Protection. You got a mic right there, so let's go.
Hello. All right. Well, first of all, thank you to everyone that's using Old Republic. If you're not, we would love to earn your home warranty business. Old Republic has one of the most cost-effective warranties in the state of Florida. When you're comparing warranties, don't just look at the price, look at the limits of liability. For example, on air conditioning systems, we do not have a dollar limit that we will pay out on air conditioning systems. Most home warranty companies do have a dollar limit, maybe $2,500 or $5,000, and we don't. And last but not least, if your buyer does not get a warranty at closing, they can still get a warranty with us for up to 30 days after closing. So if you have any questions, reach out to me or Jeff Velez. We'd be more than happy to help you out. Thanks.
Is it on? Is it on? Can anyone hear me? Hey? Oh, hey. Hey, y'all. I'm Shay. I am a branding photographer. Oh, hey. I'm a branding photographer. I have something called the Vibe Session, which is my branding photo shoot. It is tailored and personalized to your brand. We go through captions, your marketing, your branding goals, so you know how to use the images when you leave the photo shoot. I can go on and on about the Vibe Session, but go to your Instagram at ShayWalkerPhoto, and ShayWalkerPhoto.com is my website, and you can get to me there. Thank you guys. Hope to vibe with some of you guys soon, and happy masterminding.
Love it.
How's everybody doing today? All right, come on, we need a little bit more energy. How's everybody doing today? All right, that's good. I'm Ryan Plaza, I'm the account executive at Home First Lending. Our motto is to be the hometown lender, providing you the service you deserve at the speed you desire. Our main focus this year has been our ISA department and focusing on conversion. So guys, if you are, one of the needs in your business is to convert, taking those leads. Our ISA department right now is converting at a 75% plus conversion rate. So I'd love to talk to you after the event and see how we could convert some of those leads for you guys. Take care.
Let's keep going. We got Stephanie.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Martinez and I'm on the business development team at the home team of Round Point Mortgage. We offer some highly competitive mortgage products. We also like to offer education and marketing for our partners. So if you'd like to connect, follow me on Instagram, Stephanie Martinez with 5 Z's at the end, or email me, stephanie.martinez@roundpointmortgage.com. Happy networking.
Love it.
Good morning, guys. Brandon Blake with the staging company, as the shirt says. Hey, one thing I forgot to mention when I was here last month is that we're doing a $10,000 giveaway this year. So if you do a staging with us, you know who we are, you know what we do. But if you do a staging with us this year, we're going to enter you into a drawing, and we're going to give you $10,000, or one person, not everybody, but one person $10,000 at the end of the year. So that's exciting. The other thing I wanted to bring up this morning, we're having a warehouse sale on Monday and Tuesday, the 21st and 22nd. Man, with inventory and homes the way that they are, our warehouse is just packed of furniture. So come and find stuff, new stuff. We're going to have a DIY section. We're going to have art. We're going to have accessories. So come check us out Monday and Tuesday, 21st, 22nd. All right?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jody Seltzer with Celebration Title Group. We are your favorite title company. We do real estate closings, but we do so much more. So we believe that buying and selling a home is a big deal, and every closing is a special moment and should be celebrated. So we just celebrated our 6-year anniversary yesterday. So I want to just thank everyone in this room for all of your support. We really appreciate you. You've all been with us for many years now. And one thing, I have a challenge for everyone today. It is Random Acts of Kindness Day. We're all very lucky to be in this abundance business, and we're all very blessed, so do something nice for someone today.
Awesome. Look at that. Perfect timing. Yes. I'm Steve Bell. I'm a partner with Harding Bell International. We are a full-service CPA firm that specializes in anything property related, such as real estate agents, property management accounting, investors, specifically foreign investors. You've heard the term FIRPTA. We do a ton of those every year. That's really our specialty. What kind of sets us apart as a firm is, number one, We've been in business for 20 plus years, focusing and working with you guys and supporting the real estate industry. We're here to support you, your clients, also responsiveness. If you can't get anyone in our firm, you can always get me. Reach out, love to connect with you, and really, we're here to support you guys. Thank you.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Hope Richards. I don't think I've ever introduced myself on the stage, so here it goes. I am a real estate attorney, and I also own RTR Title. So what does that mean for you guys? A lot of title companies have in-house attorneys, and they are title attorneys. I'm one of those. I am also a real estate attorney, which means I also file cases. I litigate. I've seen the inside of a courtroom. It just so happens I'm also really good at title. I've been doing it for a long time. So how does that help your business? If you've got a couple who really needs to get a divorce so you can get the listing, I can do that. If you have a file and the grandmother's been dead for 20 years and need to get rid of her, I can file the probate. That's one thing. If you have two people who own a piece of property and one wants to sell and the other one doesn't, I can make the annoying one go away. It's ruthless, but I can. So give me your problems. I can fix it and I can close it. All right, nice meeting y'all.
Man, that's gangster. Gangster. She will make people disappear. My name's Vic DeVore with DeVore Design. We do photos, video, and home staging. And I just want to say something real quick about listing media. So right now, a lot of your listings, they're going to sell themselves. We all know that. However, when you're investing in professional listing media, we are providing you with media that you can leverage into more listings. A lot of your listings are going to sell themselves. We're going to provide you with media to help you sell yourself to get more listings. That's the win-win for all of us. If you already use DeVore Design, thank you very much. If you don't, I hope you'll give us an opportunity. And since I'm a photographer, I'm going to take a selfie with everybody. I love to do this every month. So let's hear, here, get in there, Aaron. You're never in this. Come on. He's got something else planned, I guess. So cheese, throw your hands up, make some noise. Masterclass. There we go. Cool. Love you guys. Thank you.
All right. And next up, we got, real quick, we're going to give a one quick clap to David Buckles and his team with Reliant Home Offers. They are home buyers. They'll help you compete with iBuyers. You got a really crappy home or something that needs repairs or something you just need off your hands. They will buy it. They will renovate it. They will make it really simple. They'll give you a quick cash offer. Let's give them a 1, 2, 3 clap on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, Heather.
Hey, that was funny. How's everybody doing, Masterclass? Woo-hoo! This is an amazing crowd. I love it. Always feel so blessed. And I'm going to follow Jody, but first let me introduce myself for those that don't know me. Heather Hurry, yes, that is my last name. Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team. We do home inspections. Guess what else we do? Commercial inspections. Guess what else we do? Point and Windmill. Guess what else we do? I could go down a whole list. Or you guys can just go online, orlando.pillartopost.com. But anyway, acts of kindness today. Be kind. Love on somebody. Tell them they matter because you do. Enjoy Masterclass. Back to you, boss.
Love it. All right. And I want to give a shout out to Tatiana and Heather who helped us with the check-in, Bryce who helped us with the setup, and for supporting sponsors that don't get to speak, but we're just going to give them a giant round of applause. Our Tammy Burchler with HWA, Dan who's here, Dan Sladek with CFBI, Certified Building Inspectors, Richmond American Homes, and Jocelyn Espejo. She's an awesome photographer. Let's give them a round of applause. And let's kick this thing off. I know we got one panelist racing here who may walk in at any second, but we're going to get this thing started. So, first up, let's go with Deanna Armel. As a former lieutenant firefighter, paramedic turned real estate extraordinaire, Deanna Armel has dedicated her entire career to changing lives and helping others. She's been ranked among the top 10, that's 10, real estate agents in Central Florida, and is consistently listed as one of the top 100 agents in the area. She's been featured on Fox National News. She's been on the cover of Real Producers and Orlando Style magazine. She's won the Professionalism Award, and she was a finalist for another Real Producer Award, the War Piece. I like that in your bio. It's pretty sweet. She personally closed more than $30 million in sales annually, but check this out. This isn't in her bio, but guess what she sold last year? $77 million. Let's give a giant round of applause to Deanna Armel. By the way, Everyone we're about to bring up didn't just rank in our top 500. They each ranked, I think, in the top 200, and they each averaged over $1 million per transaction with all of their stuff averaged out. So just so you guys know, this panel is pretty awesome. So let's give it up one more time for Deanna Armel since she's waiting there. All right. Next up, Charlie Orden. Charlie's the broker and founder of Remax Town Center. Quickly moves from one opportunity to the next, creating success wherever he goes. He's a deal maker. He's a placemaker, creating magic out of space. He's the first person to put a monopoly board in his Remax office, which is pretty amazing. He's a veteran of residential and commercial real estate. He's climbed his way up the real estate ladder for the last 37 years. And in that time, he's assisted countless families and corporations, as well as grown one of Central Florida's most celebrated Remaxes. He quotes, "I believe that success is not an entitlement and that it has to be earned every day. I do not embrace the status quo and am constantly pushing for reinvention. This is a consistent, long-standing business philosophy to ensure that my clients are provided with uplifting experiences they come to expect, averaging over $1 million last year per transaction, selling a ton of real estate. I want to say it was like $40 to $50 million plus. Let's give it up for Charlie Orden." You guys can grab seats up here, by the way. Rob Rahter, where's Rob at? He's here somewhere, I'm sure. Rob, there he is. All right, Rob. Rob is a broker associate with Stockworth Realty Group. Last year, he sold more than $65 million in real estate. He was the #1 independent broker in Southwest Orlando. Rob is routinely quoted as an industry expert in the local news, frequently appearing on WKMG Local 6, CBS, and WOFL, and quoted regularly in Orlando Business Journal. Among his record-breaking sales last year was the sale of basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal's Isleworth estate for $11 million. Let's give it up for Rob Rahter. Chocky, and is Chocky here yet? I'm going to give her bio whether or not she's here because she's running a little behind. Whenever she gets here, she's not. I'll just have her sneak up on stage. But maybe we'll give her a round of applause when she does. All right. Chocky is the broker owner of Corcoran Premier Realty. She has 25 years of real estate career in the luxury residential space. She's consistently recognized as the top 1% of Central Florida Realtors. Her background is in new construction and development. She's currently the chairman of the board of directors for the nonprofit Support Our Schools. And Chocky has 2 sons, both born and raised in Orlando. Let's give a giant round of applause to Chocky Burks. And let's bring them on up. Let's get this thing started. All right, one more time for all the panelists. If you just, yeah, you got to sit wherever you'd like. Just leave this one. Here you go. All right, here's how I want to start. I want to hear how you actually got started in real estate in the first place, but I want to hear how you got started in luxury. Like, how did you get your first luxury listing or sale? Let's start with you.
All right, so I came here in 1997. I was in television. My background is television news. I came with the CBS station here, which was WKMG, which is why I'm on KMG a lot doing interviews. Before that, I was in Las Vegas and NBC News in New York with the Today Show. So my background is television news. Exactly. So I got into real estate in 2004. My wife was an attorney, and we decided we wanted to flip houses because wouldn't that be a great idea? And never intended to be a realtor, as they call us. So I actually did this with while working in television for about 5 years. So I don't say I did it part-time because I had 2 full-time jobs at the time. And I didn't do it part-time, but my first listing I think was $1.25 million, and it just was kind of the sphere that we were in.
I moved here in end of 1988, and I got into real estate about 37 years ago down in South Florida. Just started working into the market and didn't really start out in the high end, but it just kind of transitioned that way. It just seems like most of it's come through people that I've known, friends, family, referrals, and just kept working its way up. The last 2 years has been great with the high end, the luxury market, and I just keep learning from other people and through different networking and different classes that I've taken.
Hey, real quickly, just because these are brand new mics, if you guys can hold the mic really close and speak right into it, you can turn it down, that'll stop some of the squeaking. But when you hold it far from your face, he turns it up so loud. get started in real estate and how do you get your first luxury listing?
I'm Deanna Armel. I graduated from Rollins College, and can you hear me okay? Okay. I became a firefighter, paramedic, disappointed my whole family with my Rollins degree. I had a career-ending back injury, and when I was no longer able to continue as a firefighter, I had a very long-time family friend who was the nation's leading golf course broker. So I said, "Hey, Hilda, can I sell golf courses with you?" And she said yes. So my first real estate transaction was a golf course for $2 million. And my husband said, "You need to get into residential. You're such a people person. You're so detail-oriented." So I started the residential component, and my first listing was $1.75 million because of a personal friend. It was, friends is kind of where all of my business has come from. So that's how it all started.
Hi everyone, I'm Chocky, Burks. I'm the broker and one of the owners of Corcoran Premier Realty. I think the question is how'd you get started?
The question is how did you get started and how do you get your first luxury listing?
How did I get started and how did I get my first listing? So I started in real estate with my family in Charleston, South Carolina. My father was a broker and we had a real estate company there. When I moved to Florida, I got into time sharing with the Marriott, which was some of the best training I've ever had. Because obviously, you guys know you have to know when and how to ask for the money. That's super important. My first real estate deal was a listing on Lake Maitland. I was working for Sterling Sotheby's at the time, and that's about it, you guys.
So we're trying to get this thing fixed with the brand new mics. So here's what I want to know. Let's talk about how you market luxury listings. Like, let's be honest, one of the biggest questions I got from people was how much do you have to spend, where do you market, what do you do? Like, when you take on a luxury property, what are you doing aside from sticking them on the MLS that an agent wouldn't know without being in your space or having your expertise? We can stay on this side. You can answer that, Chocky. Where do you start? Where do you market luxury listings outside of MLS? And what type of investment might someone have to be ready to make?
Well, so funny question. I sold new homes a lot, so every single time anyone walked in the door to look at the model, I would say, "How did you hear about us?" And they would always say, "Well, I saw the sign." And so I'd be like, "Okay." And after we had some interaction, they saw the sign, they saw it on the internet, they saw it in a magazine. They are going to just tell you the last place they saw it. So for me, advertising, you have to do everything to get your listings out there. Video, social media, magazines, postcards. I mean, we do all of those things. And those bring new listings and referrals in because people see that you're going to actually do a lot of marketing. So that's kind of what we do.
Love it. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, ditto. I mean, it's the same as what Chocky's saying. It's the more the merrier. I mean, you've got to put your listings everywhere. You've got to, and a lot of it's your database. It's the database that you're working off of, database of other realtors, and it's a database of your clients, past clients, and hopefully future clients. So it's the marketing machine. And so, thankfully we have a team that does a lot of the social media stuff and videos and all that Chocky just said. It's everything. So there's no one thing to do to get your listing out there.
Somebody once said they said, I'd like to do luxury properties and sell luxury properties. I said, well, in order to do that, you need to play in the same sandbox as these people. So part of it is networking with other high net worth individuals, but they also want to know what are you going to do that's different than just put a sign in the yard and put it on MLS, because they all can do that. In today's market, they want to know how are you going to market me internationally? How are you going to market me to all the people in New York, New Jersey, Washington, California? So it's a lot through social media, but it's also, you have to be prepared to, do maybe some magazine ads or some direct mail pieces. And so you could spend anywhere from $10,000, sky's the limit. I mean, you could spend $100,000. So if you don't have any money to spend, you need to really partner up with somebody because you can really spend a lot, especially with a listing.
Yeah, you have to spend the money to make the money, for sure. I use some international platforms. One's called worldposting.com, listglobally.com, magazine articles. I really don't do print material. I've never sent a postcard ever in my life. But also paid social media. You can target your audience. So right now I'm targeting New York, New Jersey, California when I post something in terms of these luxury homes. And quite frankly, a lot of the buyers I've gotten have been through Facebook, social media, paid advertisement. It's amazing the reach that you can get from that. So that's where I've had the success.
You can also Mansion Magazine and Wall Street Journal is a great tool. They have the online version of it, and that's a good way of hitting the high net worth people, especially ones up north.
I was just going to add one thing. Our company, we started out as a small boutique company in Windermere, and we affiliated with Corcoran right before the actual COVID crisis. So, but we worked through that. The point is, first of all, the postcards, we used them for 10 years. We sent them out consistently. I'd go to a listing appointment, and there they would be, sitting on the counter. So, postcards do work. We also found through affiliating with a global network is huge in terms of getting leads from New York and California and where they're coming out. And I mean a true affiliation where you actually know the agents, you actually interact with real people. So that's awesome.
And also reaching out to other luxury brokers, sending your listing directly to them and creating that bond, I think that's a real success as well.
So I think especially in this market right now, that's key because I think a lot of us, Simon's in here, so a lot of us kind of communicate with each other. Simon says, hey, I've got something coming in Isleworth. But if you look at the listings in Isleworth right now, there are 4 homes on the market, 5, I think. And normally there's 30 plus. So, a lot of us are trying to sell the same homes, the same clients. And we're partnering up. And I got an email this morning from another agent, and she said, what do you have in Windermere up to $2 million? And I'm getting these messages and calls, and you guys are too. So it's almost like a secondary network, and we're trying to sell homes before they even hit MLS in this market, because you have to. So when I get a listing, it's a pocket listing. I've got 1 listing in MLS, and I've got about 12 listings in my head. And what I'm trying to do is sell those listings to people that I know, and then if not, then I go to my agent partners, and then from there, then finally, if it doesn't work, MLS at this point is the last resort. I think that's kind of how I'm doing it.
I'm trying to fix this thing for you guys. Let's talk about the mistakes people make when it comes to luxury real estate. What are the biggest mistakes people in this room are making? What are the misconceptions? What are the misnomers? And what are the things you've learned the hard way or the biggest mistakes that you've made in luxury real estate? Any of the above. We can start with you, Deanna.
Do you have time? I think the biggest mistake that I made in luxury is, one, claiming that I was an expert in every area. And I thought I was an expert in Windermere and Winter Park and Lake Mary. And that didn't work out very well because the buyer would look to me for guidance in that area, and I didn't have a clue. So I decided to really focus on just the area that I live in, and that's Lake Nona. And I do a little bit in Dr. Phillips, and that's pretty much it. So that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was taking listings just to take the listing. I knew it was way overpriced. I knew I was never going to be able to sell it. And I knew I was going to fail. But I took it because it was $3 million, $4 million. And that was a big fat waste of time and a waste of money. So don't just take a listing to take a listing. Now I take a listing that I know I can sell. And if I can't, I don't do it. So I think that's important. But when you're getting started, you're just so desperate for the opportunity, and you just need that one for your resume. Yeah, I've sold $1 million home. I've sold a $2 million home because a lot of sellers are looking for someone with stats. And most of the luxury listings that I've missed out on is because my stats aren't as good as someone else's. So like all of yours, probably, because I don't do volume. I just do, I sold 58 houses last year. That's it. And that's how I like it. I don't want volume. I want that quality, not quantity.
Starting out when my first luxury listing was trying to figure out all the different vehicles. So I always say is you better be really well prepared. Don't go into this just kind of winging it, and don't go in with the philosophy of fake it till you make it, because these people that are selling these homes, they're not stupid. I mean, they're very successful people, so they can see right through you. And I deal a lot with foreign nationals, and if they catch you faking something or in a lie or making something up, you lost all their trust. So the biggest thing what I had, the first listing that I had, I don't think I was as well prepared, but I did learn from that. And I went and took some more courses and talked to other people that were actually from California, and I was watching what they were doing. So I got better at my video, better at the photography, because it's selling a lifestyle. It's not just selling a home, but it's selling the whole lifestyle, being on the lake or being on the golf course.
Yeah, I'll second that exactly. It is selling a lifestyle. And the question you have to ask yourself, I think, is do you live that same lifestyle? Because as Charlie said, people who you're working with are going to see right through you. I mean, I don't want to get into a discussion about cars, but if you're not driving a luxury car, your clients likely will know that and likely not believe that you're real. So if you're not a member of a country club, and again, we can debate about this all the time, but the reality of it is it's relationships. It's the relationships you're in. So if you're not in a relationship with people who are high net worth, you're not going to sell to people who are high net worth. If you live in a condo, you're likely not going to sell multi-million-dollar homes unless you just fake it till you make it or partner with somebody who is. I mean, it's probably not a popular opinion, but the reality of it is people in that kind of lifestyle, they're working with people who are in the same lifestyle as them, who relate, who knows what it's like to go to the Four Seasons, who know what it's like to have a kid at Windermere Prep or Lake Highland, or what are the difference between the private schools? Because they're buying a lifestyle. They're not just buying a house. They want to know if you can get them a great deal on a boat for their new lake house. They want to know who sells golf carts. They want to know if you can get their failing kid into Windermere Prep. Like, these are the things these people want, and that's what they're buying. They don't need a 10,000 square foot home. Nobody needs it. They're buying it because they can and they want it.
I would have to say when I first got into luxury real estate was pretty much right off the bat. And thank God we're all different, because I would go to other areas. And because I've been in Florida so long, 30 years, I know a lot of the other areas. I know Windermere and Winter Park are crossing clients all the time. So it was important to know both of those markets. And I just think you have to go back to kind of that old adage that your dad and your mom always told you, which was just always treat people like you want to be treated. No matter how wealthy someone is, they're really just people. They don't want a pretentious, know-it-all kind of. They really want someone. But you do have to be like, it's important. You got to be the trusted advisor. You've got to give them information. You've got to do your research. So, like all of these guys are saying, because the whole bottom line is trust. So if they trust you and you have the information, friends, that's great too, but the most important thing is to be really their trusted advisor and someone they can count on.
And answer your damn phone.
Answer your phone. Where's my son? He tells me that all the time.
It goes back to the same thing. It goes back to the same thing as what I said before. Is if you don't play in that same sandbox, you're probably not going to be able to network with those people unless it's something that it's a relative or somebody that you absolutely know. But what Rob was saying is it's part of being in that network. You don't just go and say, here, I'm selling $300,000 homes. I think I'll sell a $3 million one tomorrow. You need to cultivate that. It takes years to do it. It's not something we just walk into and do it tomorrow. Okay, everybody says, oh, I want to do this. Okay, great. What are you going to do? You can't go and take one course and learn it all. But it is part of the thing is networking, but also being prepared. And like Chocky said, and I've shown lots of Chocky's listings and Steve's, it's being nice to the people, but also their biggest thing is customer service. And I sold a home 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. And I was negotiating the deal during Valentine's Day evening, and I called them up and said, you just bought your wife a home on Valentine's Day. But they want that service, and they want it, and they want you there, and they want it done right.
I got to ask, Rob answered his opinion, but I want to ask everyone here. Do you need a nice car? Do you need to live in a nice house to sell luxury real estate? I'd love to hear from each of the four of you. I know you sort of answered it, but I want to directly ask you, how does it matter? And if you don't drive a nice car or live in a nice home, where should you
Well, here's the deal. It used to be you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, let's hear it for a gentleman. Yes, we women still like gentlemen. We like that. But we do want to be equal. So, right? Yeah. We used to drive people around, and some people still do. So obviously, you want to have a nice, clean car if you're driving clients around, and then you get like to the point where Rob's probably got a sports car. I'm guessing. I'm only no, but I have a nice car, so I assume you don't want to drive up in some beat up old car. Just nice, clean, right?
Rob, you can reiterate. What
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I
This
think
is your.
we are in a business. I mean, there's to an extent you are. I don't want to say it's a show business. It's not show business. It's not television. But I mean, you are portraying an image, and if that's the image that you're portraying, nothing against a Honda Civic, that doesn't scream $10 million home. So your buyers, if they're buying a $10 million home, they will notice. I did lose a listing once, a $250,000 listing, because they said you have too nice of a car. You're not the right guy for us. I'm over it. That's fine. Okay, great. I'm not the right guy for you. So, yeah, there's the pros and the cons. But the reality of it is people who are looking in the luxury market, they're luxury buyers. They're not buying for needs. They're buying for wants.
I think you need to be in the middle, not the highest. I wouldn't say you want to go drive a Ferrari or Lamborghini, but also, like Rob said, maybe a car that's kind of falling apart is not the image as well. Nothing worse than driving up to somebody's driveway and oil is leaking on their driveway. I drive a 5 Series BMW, and it's nice, but it's not over the top. Could I afford more? Yes. Do I want to? No. I think that half of my clients, they're jeans and a polo shirt. So they're the Tesla and that crowd, and that's fine. But I have clients that drive Ferraris. But I don't think you have to be the highest price, but you need to be something in the middle, and the car should be clean, and you should dress properly.
I don't think a car matters. I think it should be clean, and that's pretty much it. You mentioned a Honda Civic. That's what Lou Holtz drives. Lou Holtz picked me to list his home, and I'm not fancy. I do have a nice car, but he never saw my car. I met him inside. So I have a nice car because I like cars. I always have. I think you should dress nicely and professionally, but I'm not fancy. I don't wear heels. I don't have fancy PowerPoint presentations. I'm not fancy. And as a matter of fact, one of my best real estate transactions was with someone who was selling a $2.5 million house in Keens Point. And he was the list agent, and I brought the buyer, and he was wearing gym shorts and a t-shirt. And I thought to myself, this is the most unprofessional agent I've ever worked with. He's representing a house wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And it turned out to be the best real estate transaction I've ever been a part of. I will do a deal with him any day. And I realized people with money, they don't care. They don't care what you wear. They don't care what you drive. They want to know that you're sincere and that you care about them and what they need. And in my opinion, every single, yeah. So, for me in this business, every single seller, every single buyer has a story. And I try and mirror match my service to what their story is. I've helped 2 buyers that won the lottery. So that was a great story. I've helped people who got divorced, who lost a child. Lou Holtz, he lost his wife, and so he was downsizing. And he wrote me a letter, and he told me why he picked me. And I went up against powerhouses like this, and he picked me. And his letter basically said, I chose you because I could tell you, sorry, I know you weren't, yeah. But he basically said, I chose you because I could tell you truly cared about me and my well-being and my needs, and I trust you. That's why he picked me.
Let's talk about your habits and routines. What are some of your daily habits and routines as a top luxury agent? And if it's worth mentioning, what's different about the habits and routines when you're selling luxury versus just being an average agent, if there is a difference? I'll start with you, John.
Well, I don't really think there's a difference. First of all, I'm really interested in like all this neuroscience that's coming out because, you know, we've always set our goals and we've always set our intentions. Well, what they've discovered now is that your brain, you can actually remap it by what you think physically. So how incredibly exciting is that? Especially if your old brain's got a lot of garbage that says, oh, you can't get a FISBO. Oh, there's no open house. You know, all that negative. So absolutely, I believe you have to get up every morning. You have to do prayer, meditation, whatever it is that gets you centered. Write down your gratitudes. Write down what you're thankful for. Do your affirmations. You know, I'm strong, I'm brave, I'm excited. I think if you start your day that way, every day you'll have an incredible day. It'll change. It changed everything. I started doing it, and it literally, if I don't find myself doing that in the day, later in the day I'll be like all stressed out and headache and so many things going on, as opposed to just, you know, this is cool, I like it, I'll take care of that, I'll take care of that. So yeah, I have strong beliefs in how you do it and how you keep on your daily schedule too.
Quick show of hands, how many of you have ever read the book by my original life coach who was, when I was 18 years old, my parents thought I was crazy because I hired a life coach. And then I was a freshman in college and like, what the hell are you spending money on a life coach for? And everyone thought it was crazy because he was 24, so everyone makes fun of 24-year-old life coach. But he was writing a book at the time about morning routines. And taught me this routine. I was probably the 7th or 8th person. The book's now sold a few million copies. Anyone here ever read the book, The Miracle Morning? Raise your hand. If you haven't, and you're looking around like, damn, I haven't read that book yet, you probably should read that book. There's also a version of The Miracle Morning for real estate agents. If you like that book, just make some noise real quick.
I'll say one last thing because we all know Tom Ferry. He's fabulous real estate coach. He calls it just this you guys can remember, just take your meds every day, which is meditation, exercise, diet. So just do that and you'll be good.
Rob, some of your routines.
So my routine's changed a lot since COVID. I think COVID was kind of a game changer, at least for me. I kind of was slowing down a lot. I don't know if that's good or bad, but during COVID, I was in the office every day. I did not stay home. I had no assistants. I was stuffing envelopes. I was printing envelopes. I was doing the same routine I always do. I usually had a lot more help, but I had a lot more time to do it. And I just kept going. I mean, I was the only one in the building. I'd walk in and there was not another car in the parking garage but mine. Yeah, it was super nice. So yeah, I mean, I got a ton done, and I just would work through the whole pandemic and just kept going. And I felt like that was important. I think, you know, now I've kind of slowed down a little bit just because the market is obviously dictating that a little bit. And so I'm a little bit out of a routine, but I think I'm doing that routine every single day.
Let me ask you, what does it look like when you're in the office? Like specifically, like you stay up to date on everything going on in your market. What does that actually mean? If I'm an agent, I'm trying to start to understand my market. What data are you looking at? How often are you checking the MLS? What are you looking for? What are you doing? Like, give me a little bit of that.
I mean, it depends on the day, but I mean, obviously looking at MLS multiple times a day. I want to see the new listings. I want to see who's going pending. I want to see what they're going pending for. I want to know the neighborhoods that I work in. I basically networked in 22 neighborhoods, or I prospected 22 neighborhoods. So I try to follow each neighborhood of what's going live, what's going pending, and what's not obviously selling. So that gives me an idea of what the market is doing. So hopefully we're ahead of the game when we know when the ship is coming, when things are happening, that we know ahead of time. So Jason, our broker, does a lot of research, and so he sends out more research than you want to know, and you can read through some of that stuff. And you know, a lot of it's very helpful because it does show you trends before basically everyone else sees them. So hopefully we're pricing properties where they should be priced and not where they should have been priced 2 months ago. So I think that's probably, when I'm in the office, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm reading anything my hands on. Property appraisers are great. Put property appraiser on one screen, Google on another. Figure out who the people are in your farm area. If you don't know who they are, Google them. Find out who they are, what they do. You know, that's obviously something that there's always more room to know your neighborhoods that you're working in.
Yeah, I've spent more time lately. I've had to change things. I'm constantly trying to reinvent myself, but I'm spending more time touching about 5 or 6 different people. And when I say touching, is just like reaching out to them every day, not touching.
Really?
It's Well, you're in TV, you know. So it's basically just reaching out to them, whether through Facebook, saying, you know, wishing them a happy birthday, going in and constantly every other month reaching out to your sphere of influence, people that past customers, finding out, you know, maybe on their anniversary of their moving into their home, you know, just give them a call. So I'm trying to develop more of that. So every morning I spend about a half hour, 45 minutes, just trying to reach out to different people or making a list of who I'm going to talk to. But today you have to keep reinventing yourself, like what Rob said. What we did 2 years ago, we didn't do a year ago, and what we're doing today was different. We're, you know, that old thing of just maybe reaching out and talking to somebody versus sending a text or, you know, sending them an email doesn't really do as well as if you actually just pick up the phone and call. And that's what we've gotten so used to is you know, like I tell people, I said, you can just call me. I'd rather speak to you than to talk to a phone. And so in the mornings, I've been, after I take my about 40 minutes of meditation and just trying to get my head back on straight, I try to reach out to people and mostly trying to cultivate more of my sphere of influence. And living here so long, I just know a lot of people. So.
I spend most of my mornings Snapchatting my dog because I'm obsessed with her. She's just so cute, little Cardi B. Okay. But anyway, I do a lot of that. Real estate for me is very, very personal. So I make a phone call. I do those touches that he does. And I'll just send random texts or random emails. Hey, I'm just thinking of you. I think to stay relevant in this market, whether it's luxury or not, you have to stay connected with your clients because they will forget about you if you don't. So I send a text. I think I told Aaron this a long time ago. I spend hours in the mornings of every holiday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Father's Day, and Mother's Day. Not Valentine's Day, but the key ones. And I send a text to every client I've ever helped. So I know it's easy for me because I've only helped probably 500 or 600 clients in my career because I don't do a lot of volume, but my relationships are very personal. So each day I reach out to a handful of my clients, probably 10 or so. And then another thing is I'm always on, I'm always working. When I'm walking my dog, it's potential client, potential client, potential client. And I'm always talking to my neighbors about real estate. And I just want them to all know, hey, this is me. I'm Deanna. I sell real estate in here. And I ask where they live. Oh, yeah, okay, Thurlow, are you to the left or the right? So I know, you know, people by where they live.
The other thing is, you know, I mean, how many times 20 years ago you used to get, you know, 50 holiday cards, Christmas cards, whatever, and now you get 120 emails saying Merry Christmas or Happy New Year's. So what I've tried to do is spend more time sending out like really nice holiday cards. So I like Thanksgiving. Maybe I'll skip Christmas. I'll go to New Year's. I do like 4th of July. I stay away from like religious holidays, but specialize more in holidays that's for everybody. So I think Thanksgiving and finding, you know, having either something printed or buy a really, really nice card. And I did this for this year around the holidays. I got the nicest cards I could find, and I hand wrote a note to all of the people that are in my sphere of influence. You know, sending an email or sending a text is very, it's cold. You know, just send me something, it doesn't really do anything. But if I get something in the mail, which I know we don't get them as much, I think that means something more than just sending out something that's, you know, a text message or an email.
Yeah, handwritten cards are key. I do happy home anniversary cards to people. So if you close on a house with me, you're in my calendar that day, moving forward to any day. So the marketing calendar has this property closed 4 years ago, 14 years ago. And so I'll do a handwritten note to them every year. Happy home anniversary, hope you're doing well. I look on the property appraiser to make sure they still live there, get a on me. But other than that, I do that. And then I had an aha moment a few years ago. I realized
I just want to tell y'all one random thought. So we got everyone in our company those cards that you just touch people's phone and it puts your info in. You guys have seen those. They're out now. They're cool. So I had one when I went to New York on a conference, and so that's the coolest time to use them because I was just like, here, everybody, all the people I met from New York, Chicago, all over the country. So that's just a random tip, if you will. What do I do to stay in touch? Is that what the question is? Okay. So, again, because you're like the trusted advisor, you're someone that they're go-to for information. So we have a huge database. I have two partners. We are constantly sending out a newsletter to our clients. I do handwritten notes all the time, depending on what the situation is. Um, we're doing lots of advertising and media. We invite them to client events. So we do quarterly events for our clients. And we're planning one now to do a food truck and come hang out, see our new office. What else?
So we do emails. I do emails every other month. Market update. When the order comes out, I rewrite it. I send that out to stay in touch. You all know Rita Casey, who started Stockworth, and who was senior co-founder. So I learned from CORE, which is what Rita left to go run. CORE is a national real estate training program. I was with a big franchise, Simon. I'm not going to say the name, but the initials are KW, and they have some great training program, a great coaching program, but it never really fit the luxury goals that I was in. And so when I got to Stockworth and met Rita, I met her, what she was doing with the CORE, and kind of got my feet wet in the CORE. I loved it. I embraced it. So part of that is writing a letter to the heart every month. So you write a letter to the heart to your top. You have to kind of use your database, and I realized that 85 people in the database can move. But those are your top 50, 85, whatever you call it. Those are the people that most of your business should come from. So those are the people you stay in touch with. So if you're trying to focus on where do I go next, try to put those people. Those are people you've done business with, want to do business with, are doing business with, or hope to do business with. And once you kind of letter of the heart is just basically 3 paragraphs. It's almost a Christmas letter, and you send it out to those people every other month or every month, depending on how you want to do it. And that's how you stay in touch with those people. Rita famously tells a story about a magic player that she wrote to, and she was something personal about her husband's surgery or something. And one of the magic players came up to her and said, "How's your husband doing?" She first had to say, "I don't remember how he knew that," and then realized that she put that in her letter of the heart. And that's a very important tool to stay in touch and make it personal. So a paragraph about your business, a paragraph about yourself, and a paragraph about your company or the market or how you want to do it. But think of a Christmas card letter, just what you're going to write. And that's what you send out to your people. It's just a way to touch people and stay in touch with them.
I talked a little bit before about staying in touch with your sphere of influence. So every other month, I'm sending out a news. It's not like a newsletter, but it's a market update. It's kind of like a small book. It's not just one sheet or anything like that. But it talks about Orlando, the market in Orlando, not specifically one neighborhood, but it goes out to my sphere of influence. The other thing is staying in touch with your past customers is one thing. Stay in touch with the people that you know and that you see at different events. That's great. But also being around people that are influencers. Like Rob was talking about tennis. I started back in tennis again. So my coach, who's been instructing me and trying to keep me where I can get my serve better, he deals with a lot of high net worth individuals. Okay, I live out in Lake Nona. It's a good area. There's some high-end homes over there. So he's a person that is an influencer, and he can recommend you. He recommended me to a bike shop because I'm going to buy a different bicycle. So it's people like your banker, people like your investment guys, your attorneys. Those are influencers. Those are people that either live in a really nice home or they know somebody that does. So staying in touch with those people, whether it's a handwritten card, going to lunch with them, a phone call, but be personal with them. They need to know that the first person that somebody comes to town and they're looking for a home or they're looking for a piece of lakefront lot to buy so they can build on, you want to make sure that your name is the first one that comes on.
Love it. I'm going to ask you guys about going on your own personal soapbox in a second. I'm going to ask a little bit more about marketing in another minute, but here's what I'd love to hear, because I know most of the room has asked me this question in some form or another, and we sort of answered it earlier in how you got your first luxury listing, but I would rather hear not how you got it, but what advice you would give to someone that wants to raise their average transaction size. Maybe they're not looking to like go sell a $10 million house tomorrow, but if they want to work with the higher end of real estate, where should they start? What should they do first, and what would be the steps? I'll give you guys a second to think about it, and I'll see who looks better.
I think these guys have kind of touched on that in terms of you are who you associate with. So if you're playing on the tennis team at Isleworth, you're going to get clients at Isleworth. I got connected with some golfers in Lake Mary, and I just got paired with some woman who lived in Lake Mary, and she had a boat company, a boat manufacturing company that she wanted to sell, and they were having a hard time selling it. And I've never sold a boat company in my life, but I said, well, I can sell it. So I had the opportunity, and we're best friends now after 12 years. I sold the company, and then I've sold $2 and $3 million houses of every other golfer in the golf group. I had no idea that it was, a high-end caliber of people, but that's how I was able to propel myself because I was associating with them. And now I live in Lake Nona Golf and Country Club, and that's why I sell so much in Lake Nona Golf and Country Club, because I'm there. I golf. I'm present. So, you kind of are where you live. And I think there's real value to that. I don't think that you have to do that. I think it's a great advantage because I didn't belong to Heathrow when I helped all of these women. But, it did help get my foot in the door.
I love it. And not only is that a great nugget, I know on last month's panel, David Johnson was up on the stage, and we skipped over the story we wanted him to tell, which was he serviced one doctor who sent him 20 or 30 others later. So what I'd love to get just from the room and the panel is just a quick show of hands. How many of the people in this room have ever accidentally or intentionally tapped into a network that led to a bunch of higher end clients? Maybe it was a club, maybe it was an activity. How many people have done that? Raise your hand. So those of you that haven't, look around the room. It's pretty common. What about you, Charlie? Where would you tell people to start?
Just start edging your way up. Excuse me. You don't have to, go from $300,000 home and all of a sudden you're in the $5 and $6 million. Just start working your way up. That's kind of like what I've done over the last 20 some years. I just kept on moving up, and then just the people that I started meeting, and they started referring me to other of their friends. So it didn't just happen. It just kind of started moving. I got one of my buyers. He was a commercial. It was a commercial client that I got through the internet. Helped him with his office space. He was relocating down here from New Jersey because he said the taxes were killing him. I called him back. I never will forget this because I called him back at 6:42 p.m. on a Saturday evening. Now, if you ever know anything about commercial agents, they don't call you back, period, much less 6:42 p.m. on a Saturday evening. So the guy was an Asian guy, and he was shocked that I called him back. Well, not only did I lease him the office space, and he ended up taking twice the size and twice the length of time, but he bought a $4 million home from me because he liked me, and we just became friends. And then he said, I'm going to go down to Miami and live down there for about 6 months. Can you help me? Do you know somebody down there? I said, I'll drive down there. I'll go work with you down there because I don't want you to just be with anybody, and I know the market down there. And then he turned around and he said, I like the house, but I'm not in love with it. And he said, I want to build another house, bought the 2 lots next to him, and we built, it came out to be a little over $11 million. He's referred me to other people. Do I go and sell $11 million homes? No, that's very rare. $1 million, $2 million. I went on a $2 million listing. She knows a lot of people. And so it's, you don't just get there, you just kind of work your way up. It's kind of like Rob and I with the tennis. You don't just become a tennis pro and you got a perfect serve. You have to kind of work at it. And then slowly you just get better and better at it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what he says. I have a huge network at church. It's actually a great feeder for me. And so a lot of times at church, I'm in the hall talking real estate. God will forgive me, I hope. But, it's kind of where you are. It's like we talked about with the club and like Deanna. I mean, she plays golf, and we were joking about, we think we know who that person is that sold or showed in Kings Point with shorts and t-shirt. If the same guy we think that's his thing. And he does a phenomenally good job on the golf course. And that's his thing. And he sells to very high net worth people because that's him and that's his thing. That's not really my thing, but that's fine. I mean, there's people like him, there's people like me. But it's kind of just being genuine no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing golf, whether you're doing tennis, whether you're at church, whether you're, no matter where your sphere is. But yeah, you get a few high-end individuals, a few doctors, a few attorneys. Chocky talked about being in new home sales. How many of us are networking with new home sales reps? I mean, that's a great feeder market. If you can kind of partner up with an agent, how many people come in and need to sell a home? That they should have a stack of your cards in their drawer. And I think that also helps to get your foot in the door, especially some of these newer neighborhoods. People buy homes and then don't like them and want to sell. And no realtors, well, I shouldn't say no, a lot of realtors don't prospect to the new neighborhoods yet. And that's a great untapped potential.
Great source. So I'll just do soapbox and
just kick it off.
Because it's kind of all the same
each of
thing.
you, what you'd say on your personal real estate soapbox to the agents in the room, or the agents that want to get into luxury, or any other agents in the community. What would you say?
So we're at Corcoran. We're getting ready to do. I'm putting into place like a 6-month mentor program because I believe hugely in mentors. I'm actually a big part of a nonprofit, and we provide young women with mentors to help them get through college. A mentor can change everything. Now, obviously, it's got to be someone that you can relate to, that wants to help you. It could even be a relative, somebody at your office that'll step in and just kind of give you advice and push you. If you can find that, it could change everything for you if you don't have it. And then basically, you guys, you've got to do the work. You got to do the grind. You've got to get your database together, figure out all your spheres. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to go to clubs, to church, to places where you can meet people and network. And then you have to do the work with video and social media and all of those areas so that people can see that you're actually out there working. And that's like going back to what these guys say. And then things will start happening. They just will because you're working.
My first dealing with a luxury property that was really a higher end one, I called my friend who runs the Remax collection. It's the luxury division for Remax. And I said, I need to talk to somebody that's been doing this for a while, that's not in my area, that will tell me what they're doing and share with me. So she put me in touch with somebody. And I told him, he was from California. So I said, I've got this property. I'm going on a listing presentation. I need to copy exactly what you're doing. So he just told me everything. And from that, I've just been doing the same thing, what he told me. But, learning from other people, going to conventions, conferences. I go to the luxury forum every year. It's in different parts. I get referrals that way. Learn from other people. In town here, okay, everybody's doing whatever they're doing, but, they might be doing something different in California. So learn from those people. Go to the conventions, go to the conferences, whether it's a national one. Next week, I leave for Las Vegas for the Remax convention. I go in there and I take luxury courses. I go to the networking. I was in for the luxury forum last year. Every year I go. I get referrals that way. So it's learn from other people. If you go to somebody that's outside of your area, Sarasota, Miami, and you say, I'm trying to move into this market, will you share with me what you're doing? They'll open up the door. They'll tell you everything. Somebody here is probably not going to, they'll tell you some, but they're not going to tell you everything. So go outside of your market, learn from other people. And I'm telling you, if you make friends with these people, they will share, they'll refer you business, and it helps that way.
Soapbox, I would say, know your listing. Know the age of the roof. Know if you have poly or not. Know the age of the AC units and how many there are. It's so awful to go to a listing that someone is listing a $2 million home and they can't tell you where the AC units are, how old they are, and sellers appreciate that. Yeah, how many. So know your listing, attach your disclosures. Allow people to be prepared to send you a complete, beautiful, tidy package of an offer. Just be complete and thorough with things. And then most importantly, build your relationships with other agents. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you work together, you can put the transaction together and keep the deal together. That's my mantra. If you just get there's a little bit of blood in the water, I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to keep it together no matter what it takes.
Yeah, I second that. So one of my biggest pet peeves, I'm sure anyone up here can second this, is we get a call from an agent we've never heard of. They're clients from Zillow, and they want to see this house. There's no pre-approval letter. We finally get a pre-approval letter. It's from who knows where. We call in the pre-approval letter. They've never heard from them. Finally, we get them in the door, and the agent says, I got to get them in today. They're flying out tomorrow. They're here on vacation. Well, they're paying cash. They're going to buy a house today, and they fly out tomorrow. Then I never hear from the agent again. Like, you call for feedback. And then last week I got an agent did similar to this, and the only thing I got back was not interested. That's your feedback, not interested? Like, it's a $6.5 million home. I spent over an hour there with you. We talked, we had a great rapport, and now you're just saying, not interested. I mean, huge pet peeve. So when that agent calls me again, I put a note in my phone. I know who that is. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, but it's true.
Quick show of hands. I got one or two more questions for the panelists, but can you make some noise if you've already learned something so far today? Can you give a giant round of applause? Again, we are not done yet, but I want to announce two quick things before we go back to the panelists. Number one is the best way you can support us is stick around. Let's give it up to Harry Buffalo for opening early every single month. Best way to support is stick around, grab some lunch, grab some food, or if you don't want to, just tip the bartender. Just throw some cash their way. I'm sure they will accept it. And quick show of hands, how many of you guys are already registered for next month? If you're not, and your hand's not up, pull out your phone right now. The link is now live. You can go to www.masterclassorlando.com. You can sign up right now and get a free ticket while they are still free so that you don't have to complain about having to donate $10 to charity because it took too long. So everyone in this room, grab the free tickets, and let's also penalize the people that didn't show up today by grabbing the tickets first. Is that cool? Y'all down for that? Next month's session, we're going to have Tiffany Pantozzi and Ken Posick. The topic's about to be announced. Hey, you want to join them, Simon? Sure. Yeah, we're going to have Simon too, maybe. I'm sort of joking, but I'm sort of not. Let's talk after. Ken and Tiffany are going to be on the panel. We'll have one more person join them. It's going to be awesome. They're going to talk probably mostly about scaling their business through social media because they've both just crushed it using social primarily. But I want to go around the room and just get 2 or 3 big takeaways you've already got from them, and then I'm going to ask the panelists 2 last questions. So quick show of hands, who's got 1 or 2 takeaways? I'll give away. I don't have anything to throw, so let's do a Winter Park Wine Walk ticket to the first 4 people to give us a takeaway. Yeah, right here.
A good mentor can change everything. So basically, find someone that you can learn, and then obviously those books that you talked about with you. Can everybody hear me? All right. So definitely finding like a good mentor is a big thing. You want to partner with somebody that you can grow off of, that you can learn off of, and you can find the book.
And the book's The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. All right, Bryce. And by the way, if you win something right now, find Bryce. Raise your hand. Find the guy with the top hat with his hat up right now. That's the guy that gives you the prizes. If you don't find him, you don't win them. So you got one waiting for you. Over here, yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Networking with other luxury agents in other areas, as well as locally, and also going to the luxury agent event that you mentioned.
CLHMS, I'm guessing. Is that it? Or luxury retreats, luxury agent events. Depends on your brokerage. I'm sure RE/MAX has one, KW has one, everyone has one that has a national brand. And you can come to Real Producers events. We'll keep putting them on stage. We'll have them in the room. Just saying. It's a good reason to network with each other. You want to take it to the Winter Park Wine Walk too? Someone over here just had their hand. Yep.
I love the letter of the heart.
Letter of the heart. How many of you guys got something out of the letter of the heart? Raise your hand. By the way, if you didn't learn the letter of the heart, you can ask him after, or Jason, raise your hand. I'm sure Jason could teach you the letter of their heart too. One more. Let's get 2 more. Right here.
You're not selling a listing, you're selling a lifestyle. So on that,
You're not selling a listing, you're selling a lifestyle. That's a nugget right there. Bryce, you can't win tickets to your own thing, but let's.
Meds from Chocky.
Meds, meditation, exercise, diet. And what was the last one? What's the S, Chocky? Oh, it's just MED. My bad.
It's just MED.
I got it now. Maybe it takes me a second. Jason.
I have a question.
Let's hear it.
Are you guys intentional, or what's the process, or what do you do to get introduced to the trust advisors and the friends and family of your affluent clients?
So you actually pretty much nailed my next question, so I'm going to merge them together. Jason asked what you're doing to ask them about becoming their trusted advisor, is that right?
No, to get introduced to the
And to get
advisors that are serving their affluent clients.
Oh, okay. What do you do to get introduced to trusted advisors who are serving their clients? Like that could be good referral partners? Yeah, what do you do? Let's just go with that question. That's a better question than I have.
So I think it depends on the referral network. I mean, it depends. If it's somebody I know from the club, I don't feel any hesitation to go up and chat with them. That's kind of what we're there for. So it just depends on who that is. If it's somebody that works in our building, who I have a relationship with, he does send me some high net worth celebrity clients. We do some business that way. But there's the country club connection for most of that. They're in my network somehow.
Love it. That's my bad. I told him to turn it up.
And I sold my house.
Answer that?
I also sold my house.
Hell, so let's hear. How do you get to the referral partner who sends you high net worth clients?
Me?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So basically, you guys, you're working with a client. You've done all the steps that we've talked about here, and that particular client has someone that they know, so they basically introduce you. So, because let's face it, most of our business is referral. It's very, 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 like it's 80% referral. So by taking good care and being the trusted advisor, you'll get, their friends. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be 1 out of 20. But they'll be the one that, keeps feeding you referrals.
Love it. Quick, just shake your heads for me. The four of you, are all four of you at least 80% referral? Would you say so? Anyone notice a pattern here? And who else wants to answer that one? How do you meet the referral partners? Charlie or Deanna?
By using them. So, my tennis coach, your financial advisor, your accountant, your the guy who sold you your car. So you're going to meet them through them, or you're referring them business. Maybe you say, here, go see Russ, or go see, Dave. He's my attorney. So then you're helping them, they're helping you. It's a win-win. Again, it takes time. You develop those relationships. It's not something you just do overnight. And then from that, you're going to start working with their client, and then they're going to refer you to their friends, and you're doing cocktail parties and dinner events and stuff like that.
Exactly what they said, relationships and staying connected.
I don't know about you, but I hate the phone calls and the text messages. No offense to anyone in the room. From lenders, title reps, whatever, that want to do business with me. Let's go grab a cup of coffee. I mean, I don't have time to grab a cup of coffee. I'm sorry. So it's somebody that I'm in relationship with is who's going to get my business. Reaching out to me typically isn't how I'm going to do a relationship with them.
Can I ask you a question about that, Rob?
I don't drink coffee.
Do you value somebody buying you lunch or coffee? Does that have any monetary benefit? Does it have any value whatsoever?
I rarely will accept. I hate it.
Understood completely. Just a side note for that. Actually, let's go down real quick. For the vendors in the room, because there's a bunch of them, tell them either what they shouldn't do or what they should be doing to be reaching out to agents. Just either a pet peeve or a thing that you like when vendors reach out to people, or how they should or shouldn't. I'd love to get one from everybody real quick. Chocky, you want to do that?
This is a can of worms.
I might have stumped you guys. That wasn't on the list of questions.
That's okay. Now, most of us have people that we prefer, but if I'm in the office and somebody cool comes in, and it just happened to me, and she made the effort, she came in, we sat down and talked. So I will definitely introduce her to my agents, and it's up to them if they want to use her. But I'm not, promoting. I'm not promoting anyone. So.
My closing gift team's going to call you. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
Charlie.
Just like everybody, we get bombarded with lenders and I usually tell them that I have a preferred lender, or I have two. But if you have something that's different, that's unique for my clients, where I've got people that maybe they're in their own business and they don't show all the money, or they're new in the business, or and they just started a company, but they've got a lot of cash in the bank. What do you have that's different? Because if it's just the in-the-box type of client, the buyer, I probably already have that. So if you have something that's unique, then I definitely would want to talk to them. But whether I go to lunch with them or a cup of coffee, kind of like Rob is, yeah.
Deanna, do you want to chime in on that, or are we pretty?
I'm always good for a free cup of coffee or a free meal. Girls got to eat.
I'll send them all to you.
But I think
from a dangerous stage.
if you're cold calling, I would just say identify who you are. I'm with so and so, and ask me, is this a good time? It drives me crazy when I answer that, and they just start talking. I'm well, who are you with? What do you want? And I could be, at the lunch table with someone and not able to take a call. So just, identify yourself, ask if I have time for a chat, and then follow up with an email and follow up again in a month or so. Just keep trying. So don't give up.
Love it.
I think I will never try out somebody with a client. I think it's probably the best way to put it. So I've either got to know you through either another deal that we did or somebody referred you to me, but I will never try somebody out fresh on a client that I don't know anything about.
I thought about that. So quick show of hands. By the way, let's give a round of applause for the panelists so far. Interested in learning more about how to market and sell to the luxury homes. How many of you would be interested in that? Raise your hand and say, oh yeah, if you are.
Oh yeah.
All right, we've got two options that I'll plug and I'll send info about later. So I'll ask you guys about this because this will totally be determined by your response. Our good friend Michael LaFido, who's been here on stage at Masterclass before, runs the luxury listing specialist. We brought him here to Orlando a few years back. A whole bunch of top-notch luxury agents raved about his event. He basically does an event that's all about marketing luxury properties. That's it. It talks specifically about marketing. And he is looking to maybe come back March 22nd and 23rd. Raise your hand if you would have some interest in getting information about the luxury listing specialist classes and destination. Raise your hand and say, oh yeah, if you're... Raise your hand up real quick so I can see about how many of you there are.
I have gone to this class, and it was a couple years ago I got certified.
Love it. That's awesome. That is a great testimonial and from a top producer in the room, so that's awesome. So there's also the Institute of Luxury Home Marketing, CLHMS, Colibri, which owns Gold Coast, which just took over Climber Real Estate School, essentially, just to make it up, in case that wasn't complicated. The CLHMS is the largest designation. I'm pretty sure you guys mentioned it. You all probably have it. I mean, does everybody have that CLHMS? Yeah. For most of you. All right, so CLHMS, Britt can get you info about taking it through Colibri. And Britt, would you be interested in bringing it to Orlando? If enough people want to. How many of you guys would be interested in taking it if I could get them to come here to Orlando to the luxury listing specialist? Or the CLHMS? All right, sweet. All right, here's the last question. It's super simple. Sorry to give you guys such an easy one last. I want to hear about technology, tools, and systems. So what are the technology, tools, or systems? This could be as simple as like just a little thing that you do to keep track of stuff. Like it could be simple. But what are the technology, tools, or systems that you use regularly that people may not be doing that they should be doing?
CRM. Everybody should have. Everyone should have a CRM.
Which CRM do you use?
We use Brokerman.
Could everyone just, real quick, I'm going to online, just tell us who CRM. I'm sure it's going to be asked by everybody. Rob, what do you use?
I used to use Top Producer. I really don't use it anymore. I use my own stuff.
Rob uses itself. Charlotte, what do you use?
Remax has a CRM that we use. So
it's Remax. You got to join them. Yeah.
Boomtown.
Boomtown. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Any other, Rob, Charlie, Deanna, any other tools, technologies, or systems that you should use? Rob?
I mean, I use Remind sometimes for mining, prospective listings. I will tell you my success rate with it is probably like 1%. So I don't know that it's that great. But I'm old school. I use Orange County Property Appraiser. I mean, I'm kind of old school. I do research with Google and find out who people are. But I mean, in terms of staying in touch with people, I mean, I use, some constant contact, that kind of stuff. And then the office uses, this is from my office. Anybody here? The marketing team has, what's the monkey one? The ape one?
MailChimp.
MailChimp, thank you. They use that. They have stuff that, the office has a lot more technology stuff. I'm not a technology guy at all.
Love it. Charlie, tools, systems?
basically the same thing everybody else is doing.
Same one? Yeah. Anything unique?
No, I'm technologically challenged as well.
I think we all are.
I got like 3 minutes. Anyone want to ask a question? We'll wrap this thing up. Anyone have a question for the panelists before we end this thing? Raise your hand now or forever hold your peace if you've got a question. I'm giving you a chance. It's the only time I've ever asked the audience if they want to ask something. Go ahead.
Starting out, I feel like there's a lot of things that's not optimizable for my clients.
Are you asking, do they still do that stuff?
I'm sure they don't because they don't have the time for it, but like how do you cut it out from starting your business like that? Like building clients and doing so much for them?
I'll ask this slightly different if that's okay. When you're starting out your business, some people get stuck doing extra things for their clients, like helping them move out or cleaning things up or getting like extra involved in a transaction. First, I'll ask, do you ever do that? And second, how do you handle moving out of people asking you or expecting you to do things outside of your normal job description? Did that answer your question?
Mostly.
Probably.
So I think we have a bad habit in this business now. For the last few years, we all like to call ourselves concierge real estate advisors. You all heard that term? I feel like it's a very overused term in our business, and we all think we are concierge because we know where Publix is. The reality of it is the people who are really concierge brokers are the ones that can make those connections at Mercedes-Benz, at Windermere Pratt, at, you name it. I mean, that to me is more concierge. So in terms of helping people move out the last minute, Julie and I were over there on a house on Isworth last year. It was an estate sale. We both were moving paint cans and stuff, and it was en masse, and it was day of closing. And I was hanging, I should even admit this, on a ladder pulling down a big painting. I mean, it's the same thing. And I'm wearing what I was wearing right now. And I mean, that's what you do, you got to do.
I'll give you a great analogy. I was asking this great-great-grandfather, like, when do you start worrying about your children? And he goes, I'll let you know. So I think we all keep doing it. You just do it, cut it off when you can.
One other question I want to ask everyone, let everyone in here answer. It's okay if it's a yes, it's okay if it's a no. But people always ask this after, or the panelists wish they talked about it. So I'm going to go from Deanna to Chocky. Are you recruiting people to your team? Do you have space for your team? Are you looking for people? Do you have any opportunities like that? Let's start with you, Deanna.
No, I don't have a team. I'm kind of a lone ranger. I've been referred to as that. I just do everything myself. I have agents that hang their license under my brokerage, and I'm not looking to grow. I'm happy that they're there, but no.
Love it. Charlie?
I've been working as a single sole agent myself. Don't really want to grow a team, but our office is always, looking for great agents that want to grow and get into the luxury market. But I've just wanted to stay as a solo agent, single by myself.
And that's Remax Town Center, Armel Real Estate.
So no, I don't. I have 2 assistants, and I'm the only one that sells. And that's it. That's good. Thanks.
So, yes, we're definitely interested in new agents. We just affiliated with Corcoran. I've had my company for 10 years. So I'm sure a lot of you know my partners, Matt and Steve. We affiliated with Corcoran right before the downturn, and it's been phenomenal. It's been amazing. So if any of you are interested in making a move and having that global aspect added on, just let me know. You can call me.
Love it. Well, I'm going to call you about putting the 3 of you in cover together. So, last but I guess not least, does anyone on stage have anything else you want to leave them with, add, wish I asked you, or want to share since you have the platform and a mic in your hand? Anything else anyone wants to add?
I just want to touch on his question. The more you go above and beyond for these folks, they will not forget, and they will send you to someone else. They appreciate it beyond measure. Having resources, having a Rolodex of, a great painter, a great roof repair person, being able to give someone, hey, can you help me? They don't have time to call the roofer. They don't have time to call the painter. So if you can help facilitate that and give them the resources and build that database of resources, that will be a great value to you. But like he said, standing on a ladder in his suit, taking down a painting, I've got caulk and tools in my car right now. Just do what, whatever it takes. And they really, really appreciate that.
When you're getting into the luxury market, it's not as easy as everybody thinks. Even when you're working with a buyer, they come out and you need to know your market, but you also need to know different clientele and their beliefs and their ethics. If you're working with somebody that's from South America and the home doesn't have a bidet, that's like terrible. If you're working with Asians, you need to really learn about Feng Shui, because if the numbers aren't right or the stairs are facing the front door, you're not going to sell them that home. So you need to learn different, like the Asian beliefs, the Indian beliefs, all these different things, how South Americans think, their cultures. I'm probably not saying it the right way, but know their cultures. Because like I said, if I was working with a client and the wine cellar was the whole key point, what do you mean this wine cellar only holds 350 bottles? He wanted 800 bottles. So you need to know your clients, know how you're going to be working with them, but find out what their beliefs are, and make sure when you're giving them a closing gift at the end, probably not a basket, but I gave the guy who's from New York, New Jersey. He's Asian. I gave him a designer picture frame, but it was in red because red is good chi. It's good luck.
I think Chocky spoke about happy hours or networking events. So hosting networking events, that's something the core talks about. I had an aha moment once when we were hosting an event at the Magic game. We had a box on the Magic and we were inviting clients to come in. And obviously it was a self-serving event because we wanted our people to come meet with us. And then I realized all the networking that was going on in the room from people that were our clients, and they were networking with each other. And people came back to me and said, I met so-and-so at your event and we're doing business together. And I mean, that was a huge aha moment to me for like happy hours and those kind of things. And then I became the facilitator for their business. And now they owe me, I hope, a debt of gratitude. And so, that was a big aha moment to me. And so, I think we kind of forget that. I mean, I had a guy last week reach out and say, what's the best drywall to put on my house? Like, they're simple things. And I want them to reach out to me for things that they think are stupid. And I love that they think of me whenever they think of their house.
Like a cup of coffee or lunch?
I don't drink coffee, but I'll have Coke. Thank you.
I'll tell you, moving from salesperson to the facilitator and connector of everything is definitely a nice move to make in your business. Let's keep Chocky. Do you have anything you want to add? Any last words you want to share with them?
Oh, just it was great seeing all of you, and good luck. And call me if you need help with anything.
I got one follow-up question because you already teed it up and we went past it already, so I'm just going to ask Rob this question.
Yes, I give
Rob,
Cutco knives
what
a closing gift.
Closing gift that we can't give to the clients in Asia.
So I give Cutco closing gifts. I do give Cutco. I've done those for years, and I love them. I screwed up this year. I decided in December that I was going to do Cutco as Christmas gifts, and they came in January. So I've got them for next year, ready to go. But no, I think I'm not a big closing gift guy. I really don't do a whole lot of closing gifts, but I think those are great for the right clients who appreciate those kind of things. I think they're great. I love them.
So anyone here that needs info on closing gifts, reach out, connect with our team. Or anyone here that runs a team, runs an office, and loves having people sponsor their office sales meetings, reach out to me. Our team would love to do it, and a whole bunch of the sponsors in this room would probably love to do it too. So I'll connect you guys. Let's give a long last round of applause.